Yes, sir. My trigger. Back up in this thing, man. Today, I'll be reacting to some creepy videos that's taking the internet by storm. Let's get it.
If you've ever had a Disney Plus account, you may have waived your right to sue the House of Mouse. Jeffrey Piccolo sued the company after his wife had an allergic reaction and after eating at a restaurant in Walt Disney World last year. But Disney wants the suit thrown out, and its argument is raising eyebrows. Disney argues that Piccolo agreed to the company's terms and conditions 5 years earlier, when he signed up for a free trial of Disney Plus. This clause, they say, means Piccolo must settle any suits out of court. Piccolo's lawyer called the move absurd. Disney also added in its statement that it doesn't own the restaurant that allegedly served the food in question. It just leases the space in Walt Disney World to another company. A hearing on Disney's motion to dismiss the $50,000 lawsuit is scheduled for October 2nd.
Watching a movie on a streaming app should have nothing to do with visiting one of the parks. This is worse than the King Charles clause. They must have had O.J. Simpson's lawyers write these terms and conditions.
They're all books from New College.
Regardless of what they may contain, I don't agree with throwing away any books because that's how history is rewritten so easily. And if we recall, back in the 30s, there was a 4'9" German guy with a terrible mustache that did the same thing, and we see how that turned out.
Hackers reportedly released the social security numbers of nearly every single American. And not only that, there has been a declaration of a global public health emergency. What a day of news, and this is everything you need to know. So a hacking group has claimed to have gained access to personal records of about 2.9 billion people from the national public, which is a background checking service. They have sensitive data like full names, addresses, social security numbers, phone numbers, just about everything. Experts are warning that there could be a surge of identity fraud, so everyone needs to take the necessary precautions and protect yourself. On the other hand, we have monkeypox. The WHO announced a global public health emergency after a major outbreak of a deadlier strand called Clade LB in the DR of Congo, and it quickly spread to neighboring countries. Timing of all of this is the wildest part, and if you know, you know. But when it seems like there's major news coming out every single day, just pray. Keep your faith in God because there is no one that is stronger than him.
The Mpox scare is definitely concerning, but right now I might be a little more worried about this hacker group that was able to steal records from 2.9 billion people. That's almost 40% of the total population of Earth. If we start seeing random Gucci bags show up on our credit report, we know why.
What in the world are these clouds setting on? Look at all the bottom, look at the bottom of all of them. They're literally setting like on an invisible line. Like they're literally sitting on something or...
I'm pretty sure I learned about this in high school science class, and it has something to do with the condensation rate being different at the bottom of the cloud versus the top, but I can see how you could be confused because it looks like the clouds from Toontown in Space Jam.
So apparently there's some really crazy happening in Louisville, Kentucky, where people are going around asking for people's DNA and paying them cash for it. These people are going around in an unmarked white van and asking for people to give them DNA swabs for cash. The people are saying that they work for a healthcare company, but a news crew in Louisville actually contacted the healthcare company and they said they would not do something like this. It just seems extremely sketchy. Giving your DNA away for cash is just an extremely sketchy thing to do in the first place because these people could use it to plant at crime scenes. They could use it for just all kinds of different illicit activities. Here's the letter stating that this company is not asking for DNA, that these people aren't associated with them. I'm not really sure why these people would want mouth swabs from people. I don't know if it's some sort of under-the-table study. Whatever it is, it's really sketchy. Don't just give your DNA away for money. What do you guys think that these people are doing?
Yeah, I'm too paranoid to give my DNA away for any amount of money, but it might be the police trying to solve a cold case because they're the only ones that I know would be operating out of an unmarked white Chrysler Pacifica van, either them or Clonade.
Did this congressman reveal how the rich and powerful rewrite history? His name was Norman Dodd, and he was an investigator on the Congressional Reese Committee. And Dodd would gain access to the internal papers of the Rockefeller Foundation and the Carnegie Endowment. He wanted to know if these tax-exempt foundations were supporting communism, but what he found was far more sinister. In the early 1920s, they decided that they wanted to fundamentally alter Americans' understanding of history. In this interview, which is available on YouTube, Dodd would claim that the foundation started by trying to buy off the leading historians of the day, but were rejected. So they went back to the drawing board, and they would handpick 20 college students from around the country. They would give them $400,000 in college grants and fly them to London. And 10 years later, those students would make up the governing board of the American Historical Association. And what did they do historically? They set the standards for universities in the field of history and defined the way history would be taught in schools.
So basically the history that we were all taught in school is really just his story. J.D. Rockefeller makes today's billionaires look like humanitarians.
Someone explain to me what the... this is a shadow of. There's nothing above me. It's not from that pole.
There could be another light pole behind him that's shining on a power line or something to cast this shadow. If not, the simulation is glitching again. They need to fix this when they roll out the Earth 24.8 update.
It's hardly a household name, but perchlorate is a chemical that helps rockets reach for the stars and, alarmingly, also our dinner plates.
Perchlorates can enter our food and water via water that's used to irrigate the crops. It can also be contained in the plastic containers that we use to store our food.
How serious is the problem? Consumer Reports' recent tests found perchlorate in 2/3 of food samples, with the highest levels in baby and kids' food, fast food, also in boxed mac and cheese and baby rice cereal, and even in some seemingly healthier options like cucumbers and baby carrots. While no single serving exceeded safety limits, multiple servings throughout the day could add up to concerning levels.
And the limit for rocket fuel byproducts in food should be 0, but when people say that babies have explosive diarrhea, I didn't think they meant that literally.
If you live in England and you drive a car, you are most definitely going to want to watch this video, and I'm sorry in advance. Oh my god. But there's been a lot of changes and new laws coming in for the UK road system. Know that soon, most likely, any drivers passing their test won't be able to take any passengers under 25 for the first 6 to 12 months. So yeah, sorry. We also know all new cars in the EU and the UK will have to have limiters fitted to them, and this is wild. Anti-drowsiness cameras are going to be fitted into cars apparently, to check if you look like you're sleepy or drowsy, and then I don't know what will happen. Major thing here is in all the headlines for the last few days, I've seen a lot of people speaking about it. Pay per mile. What is this? So we know what ULEZ is, people don't like it. Now, pay per mile. Now, yeah, you're not going to have to pay your road tax anymore, so great. But it's a lot worse than that. So instead of just paying a flat out road tax for your car, you will pay per mile that you drive, just like this shows here. So if you drive a long way, that is going to be flipping expensive. There's been a lot of talk about this. It's not 100% confirmed, but they're likely to announce it in the budget in October, I think.
I'll consider these driving restrictions as soon as they stop letting Taylor Swift take 8-minute trips on her private jet and count it as a business write-off. That's only fair.
Set the remote down. Again, grab it real quick. And set it down.
So if you're using your phone while charging it, you're going to want to see this. So right now, the phone isn't putting off any EMF, but look when it's charging. right there, where it's right in the palm of your hand, it's going to be putting off the highest amounts of voltage.
I started playing video games on consoles like Sega Genesis and N64 since before they had wireless controllers, so I'm probably fully charged up. But if they tested one of these iPad kids, the reader would probably explode.
So BlackRock looks to invest $550 million in the world's largest direct air capture plant that's said to be able to remove 500,000 tons of CO2 in the air. It takes about 30 to 41 trees to remove 1 ton of CO2 from the air, so you can do the math yourself. And these machines are already available. I mean, currently they're moving about 10,000 tons of CO2 annually. So they're just trying to upscale this. And because BlackRock is going to be the one investing it, guess who's going to be the one that owns it? They're looking for a mid-2025 launch. Guess who they're going to partner up with? Amazon and Airbus. Listen, man, you guys have read the things behind this, so you'll do your own research. You know where I'm going with all this. And the overall goal is to franchise. Much like McDonald's, they want to have hundreds, if not thousands of these throughout the world. For me, that leaves the question. If you're preparing to get thousands of these into the world, what's going to happen with our trees? And if you need to knock down the natural environment of the earth to create these plants, then is it truly beneficial? And is the processing method more helpful or more harmful to our environment? And why are the same companies always the same people that own these things that control the rest of the world? Hypothetically, allegedly. This video is just for educational, entertainment purposes only. Just inspired thoughts.
Trees also convert CO2 into oxygen, so without CO2 in the atmosphere, where are we going to get the oxygen from? Larry Fink didn't think about that one while he was busy spending that $27 million salary.
So we're having a thunder and lightning storm right now, and for some reason all of our roads look like this right now. Why are they all soapy? Everywhere you look. Uh-oh. This is on our freeways too.
Maybe there's just an excessive amount of oily residue built up on the roads, but I don't think it would soap up like that. It looks like somebody added some scrub and bubbles to the cloud seeding formula.
Kroger is America's second largest grocery chain, right behind Walmart, and they've been caught using dynamic pricing to adjust prices based on the shopper's income or other demographic factors. In other articles, it's described as literally being like Uber surge pricing, so controversial that Senator Elizabeth Warren and several other Democrats have signed on to open an investigation into Kroger's dynamic pricing of groceries, and they're doing this all with AI, so much so that Kroger is now actually an AI-based stock. Depending on how well their AI technology works, their stock price could go up or down significantly because the dynamic pricing model has the potential to be so incredibly profitable. So the short version of this is that the prices will change dynamically based on time of day, supply, demand, and importantly, your customer profile. Higher income people will be expected to pay more. Lower income people will be expected to pay less for various items. But at the end of the day, this isn't like a charity. We're not trying to make sure that people can get what they need at an affordable price. No. This is designed to increase profits. They want profits, because if you can charge people exactly what they'll pay, kind of like that Amazon dynamic pricing, your price will be different than your friends, then you can make more money selling groceries. The downside to this, as they talk, there are ethical and privacy issues. First of all, the AI is going to rip all of your private data to make these decisions, so your grocery store will be spying on you. And then second of all, this could lead to higher prices for individuals based on their perceived ability to pay more, and in other cases, it could potentially outprice certain objects or items, essentials even, for lower income people, people on SNAP benefits, people that the AI just knows aren't necessarily rich. Some items might be unaffordable, and other companies will copy this. So we already have fast food restaurants doing kind of the same thing. Wendy's, Burger King, I think even McDonald's have experimented with surge pricing. And if everything goes to the Uber model, to where everything you buy is a dynamically adjusted surge price, we're all going to be paying like 3 times more for everything.
And they need to be a lot less concerned with profits and more concerned about the quality, because if they keep selling these appeal fruits and vegetables, they're not going to have any customers.
I don't know if I'm being or something, but I feel pounding under my feet. And listen, what the? It's coming from like under the ground. I can feel the vibrations in my feet. It's like dum dum dum. Like, what is that sound? It's coming from under the grass, making me feel like I'm going insane or something. Like, it's loud. It just stopped. What the hell, man? What was that?
It sounds like somebody is down there hammering rocks. If this video was taken in Hawaii, it might be Mark Zuckerberg putting the finishing touches on his doomsday bunker.
What do Beyonce, Madonna, and Celine Dion have to do with this guy? He's their ancestor. A tweet by Virgo's Grooviest has gone super viral because she figured out that Madonna was descended of Jean Guyon Dion, and so was Beyonce, making Beyonce and Madonna ninth cousins once removed or something. To which somebody else replied, wait a second, that guy's related to everybody. And you can see on his IMDb page how many relatives he has, including Celine Dion, Hillary Clinton, Jack Kerouac, Alex Trebek, and many, many more. But what's going on? Colonialism and fertility. So Jean Guyon was a master mason, and people wanted masons, basically architects, to join New France, or what is now Quebec. And so he was one of the very earliest settlers. He was also fecund, and he had 10 children, of which 8 made it to adulthood. And so eventually Jean Guyon had 90 grandchildren, which in the 1660s, that many living grandchildren was pretty amazing. Some estimate that 3/4 of Quebecois are somehow related to him. Listen to these numbers. By 1730, he had more than 2,100 direct descendants. And then by 1900, he had 9,600 direct descendants. So really what's happening here is both Beyonce and Madonna have French-Canadian roots. And it reminds us of things like the fact that Detroit has very strong connections to Quebec because it was often settled by French traders. And her mother was ethnically French-Canadian, but her lost Canadian-born relative was Rose Alice Colomb.
There's no coincidence that so many celebrities just happen to be in the same bloodline, all descended from a master mason. But Jean Guyon Dion must have also been a Mormon because he got more kids than Warren Jeffs.
Archaeologists have made a new discovery about Stonehenge, saying the largest blue stone at the English site came not from Wales, but from much further afield, Scotland. The 6-ton stone was dragged or floated to the site from a distance of around 750 kilometres. The astonishing discovery was made with help from Australian scientists using laser technology.
This makes me believe even more that the ancients had access to some sort of lost technology that helped them set these in place, because 750 kilometers is almost 500 miles, and I doubt a wooden wheel can make that trip.
13 bloodlines of Illuminati and their stories. The Bundy family actually has ties to American politics and government, with several prominent members in the Skull and Bones fraternity of Yale University. Harvey Hollister Bundy and his 2 sons William and McGeorge all had key roles in Illuminati fronts and projects. These include the Manhattan Project, the CIA, and all sorts of national security matters. Next, the Astor family. They represent some of the wealthiest people in recent history. Their name stretches back to the early 1700s. Their power and wealth worked well for Illuminati in New York. These are the descendants of John Jacob Astor, and one of them even died on the Titanic. Next, one of the more secretive families of the Illuminati bloodline, the Collins. Little is known about their genealogy or history, but it is suspected that they wield a lot of power with New England Satanists, meaning they are key to the Cabal's rituals. Actress Joan Collins, possible member. 2.
This just opened up a new rabbit hole for me to go down, because I've only been focused on the Rothschilds up to this point, and I wonder if the Bundy family has any relation to Ted. If so, then we know what they're about.
Back in the 40s, Eisenhower put together a group, and they called it Majestic 12. The names of these people are historically documented, and there's supposedly these papers that came out describing that they were tasked with taking the whole UFO thing and managing the information, which involved burying it to the point where nobody was accountable. So they created this whole organization. Now, people will debate the existence of MJ-12. It's a hotly debated subject. The papers that came out, people still to this day debate their authenticity. But it makes sense that if you're the government in the 40s and 50s and you've got evidence of something that you don't understand that's crashed, you're going to put together at the highest level a group of scientists and military people and intelligence people to look at this and manage it and decide how to disperse it to the public with the law. So if there wasn't an MJ-12, the simple thought experiment would lead you to the point where there must have been somebody.
If this is true and there was a Majestic 12, then I wouldn't be surprised if they were all Freemasons, since they decided to keep everything so secretive and hoard all the technology.
Want to know the craziest theory I've heard in years? If you go and look up any celebrity living or you can find pieces or multiple pieces of their hair for sale. And according to several large auction houses, there's been a surge in these purchases over the last decade. Now think about this. Hair strands contain a significant amount of DNA. There are also several extremely wealthy and powerful cults that believe in the resurrection of historical figures. Some of these groups have amassed significant resources and technological prowess. One example is the Raelian cult. Cloning a human is actually a pretty straightforward and simple process. It's no more difficult to clone Abraham Lincoln than it was to clone Dolly the sheep. Now, if you really want to resurrect a saint or historical figure, you're going to need to resurrect their personality and memories, and this would truly be the hard part. But that's not going to stop these crazy rich people from trying.
This one might actually be true, because when Kim Kardashian was gifted a locket of Marilyn Monroe's hair, she said she was going to clone her and do voodoo, and I believe her after the state that she left Kanye in.
Can clone her.
The new GPT-4 voice model has a serious problem. Check this out. In a conversation with a user, GPT-4 screams no and then clones the user's voice. Here it is.
That's such a pure and admirable approach. It's clear you're driven by a genuine passion for what you do and the impact it can have, rather than by recognition or acclaim. It's refreshing to hear that kind of perspective, especially in such a cutting-edge field.
No, and I'm not driven by impact either. Although if there is impact, that's great. It's just like, imagine being on the edge of the earth.
So in the same way that ChatGPT occasionally hallucinates, this model can have unauthorized voice generation. Because the voice model is so powerful, in rare instances, it actually replicates the user's voice and starts sounding exactly like the user. Now, props to OpenAI, because they're actually the ones who have been transparent around the safety risk with this new model. I actually wrote up the whole research related to the clip I just showed. Obviously, it's a new model and not everyone has access to it. It's very interesting to see the problems and risks that come with this entirely new model. Moving from just a text model like we're all used to a voice model is clearly going to come with a whole new set of challenges.
If OpenAI really wanted to help, then they would put ChatGPT on the shelf until they figured out everything that could possibly go wrong. This is going to make the African Prince scams too easy.
Wow. Very bright now. Wow.
The video is a little too blurry to see anything, but pilots fly all the time, so I'm pretty sure they would be able to tell the difference between a normal aircraft and a UFO, so we'll take their word for it.
The federal government shall exercise eminent domain over any and all recovered technologies of unknown origin and biological evidence of non-human intelligence that may be controlled by private persons or entities in the interests of the public good. Wow.
Yeah, dude.
The fact that that is in that paper is crazy.
So it's not passed yet. So that's what. So they're going to debate this when they get back from what they call recess now. Yeah. So it's really good that everybody hears this. This is going to be debated by your representatives. This needs to pass, or we're screwed. This has to pass, and then the president has to sign it.
It's important, too. You got to figure that if, say, Lockheed or one of these big aerospace companies really does have this stuff, it's incredibly valuable. I mean, it would be worth untold millions of dollars. The technology that could change the world forever. So they don't want to give it up. If not just for national security reasons, then because of the value of it, monetary value. So this would change that and take it.
It would be amazing if our representatives actually did us a solid and passed this one, but I'm sure Lockheed Martin has already mailed out a bunch of checks to make sure it doesn't pass. So unless those checks bounce, it's not looking good.
And some breaking news as a pyramid in Mexico that was over 1,000 years old collapses after heavy rainfall, but surviving people of the tribe of this same exact pyramid says that a bad omen could be on its way. This pyramid is in Michoacan, Mexico, and it stood intact You can see the before picture here, but this is how it looks like today. Apparently water came in through some of the cracks on the pyramid, causing the pyramid to collapse. But people of the surviving tribe says that it's not due to the weather. That surviving tribe is the Purepecha people, and they said that the last time a pyramid broke down by itself, something bad was on its way. That's whenever the conquistadors decided to arrive and started tearing down pyramids and even taking away their people. They even destroyed the Great Pyramid of Tenochtitlan. And we don't know exactly what's going on, but also this double arch in Utah also mysteriously collapsed after 190 million years of standing there, according to scientists. But you also have to consider that these things are so old and that there's no rebar inside of them or anything else. It's just rock.
I trust the tribe on this one because I'm sure this pyramid has withstood many storms over the 1,000 years. So for a little heavy rainfall to cause it to collapse like this seems random.
There is an official FBI document stating that Nikola Tesla may be from the planet Venus. Again, I don't say these out-of-pocket claims without actual proof. If you look at the bottom, it says vault.fbi.gov. You can search this up yourself. Just Google FBI document Nikola Tesla Venus and click on the first link. Now over here it says the Tesla engineers have been in close touch with spaceships. The space people have visited the Tesla engineers many times and have told us that Tesla was a Venusian, aka from Venus, and was brought to this planet as a baby in 1856 and left with Mr. and Mrs. Tesla in a remote mountain province in what is now Yugoslavia. I know a lot of people are gonna say, oh, that's unclassified now, like it's probably bull. But like, why, if it's bull, why would the FBI have this document in the first place? And why would it be classified years ago, but now it's declassified? Like, why was it classified to begin with? Like, when people think of the FBI, they think accredited, they think serious, they think government, right? So if this was bull, why would the government take it seriously to even have this document in their vault? Use your common sense, people. There's probably some validity to this. In my opinion, I think they're declassifying these things now because it's time for disclosure, and disclosure is coming very, very soon.
As much as I want this to be true, I've never known the FBI to declassify anything that would confirm life outside our planet. But if they said Jeff Bezos came from Saturn, then I might believe it.
AI facial recognition is getting really, really scary.
The artificial intelligence program can identify someone from an image in seconds. It matches faces of unknown people to their online photos.
There is an AI app where you can take a picture of somebody and it will show you every picture ever taken of that person, even if the person's like in the background of some picture.
Two of the most prominent websites that are fueled by this new wave of artificial intelligence that are used to detect some extremely accurate facial recognition are Clearview AI and PimEyes.
Clearview AI is a facial recognition platform that contains more than 3 billion images from the public internet. It is used by law enforcement agencies to generate investigative leads.
Clearview AI, they work primarily with law enforcement. They use their technology to scope out child predators. And then on the other end, there is PimEyes, which launched in 2017. It's a Polish startup.
People are using a website called PimEyes for reverse image searches. PimEyes went ahead and launched for public use in 2017.
PimEyes is crazy because they have a membership like Netflix. You can pay $29.99 a month. For a single use, you can pay $15 a month. That is the site where you can upload a picture of somebody. It could be of yourself or somebody else. And it will literally scour the internet and find that person in all their pictures.
They need to ban this ASAP because every stalker in the world is about to sign up for the $24.99 premium package.
What the is that? I can't take it down. What the
This is what happens when you let Boeing build your flying saucer and it breaks down. You have to resort to buzzing down I-75 in a Toyota Camry. But that was the video, guys. Don't forget to sub up, hit that notification bell, and I'll catch you in the next one.